All right, we've been talking all about the Super Bowl commercials today, and we have George Glaros, Business and Accounting Program Chair from Minnesota School of Business, joining us now to talk about some of these, break them down a little bit. Overall feel on the commercials this year?
Had some real winners this year, did very well, had a couple that really didn't do that well, and kind of got a conversation going, but really some of them almost borderline offensive.
When you say didn't do that well, as like on what scale?
Well,
what do you mean?
So there are several services that automatically, when this is going on, right, real time during the Super Bowl, are ranking these ads as to where they go. So, for example, the one that talked about, the potential death of a child.
Yes,
right?
we talked about that earlier in the show.
Did not go over at all well, because the basic themes that went on during the Super Bowl were, one, a lot of funny stuff, right, that went on, but also a lot of heartstring stuff. The Budweiser ad still scored at the top.
Based on people's feedback,
right,
people
at
go
that
and
time,
vote?
right. Right in real time, they've got people watching these ads and voting on them.
Now, it did seem like there were more bummers, more like
Pulling
the nationwide.
heartstrings.
A lot of commercials that I ended up feeling sad afterwards, or not laughing, and not in a good mood.
Even
about.
the Daddy commercial, we can show you a little clip of that, a more serious tone. Is that just the way advertising is going, try to connect more with the human side?
I think that's part of it. I think also is that, in light of things that have gone on over the past year with the NFL, they certainly, I think, wanted to kind of get a tone with their advertisers of being a little more in tune. Right. Also, anymore, the demographics of who's watching the Super Bowl's changed dramatically. About 46% of that audience is female. So
we want to feel something.
You need these heartstrings.
Right. And so a lot of the ads, again, are going to be those that are going to appeal across the broad audience. The idea of the man cave and drinking a beer has gone away. Right? Because your audience is far more diversified. This is a giant audience. This thing is watched globally. These commercials get weeks of pre-discussion, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
And the big payoff for them is to go viral.
And one of those that are right now, the Loctite glue, made by a local company. Now, you said this scored poorly. How is that possible? This is so funny.
Well, it is, but it didn't do a lot of people. Right, just apparently didn't catch the connection of the ad.
Which is too bad, because they said they spent their entire annual budget on this commercial. That's smart decision or bad idea?
I got to tell you, they're a much older company, right? And a lot of companies have tried this. If you remember several years ago, for example, one of these was done with a turkey burger, right? With veggie burger, right? It spent their whole ad budget. One of the things to remember about this, we talk about spending your whole ad budget, right? And we talk about $4.5 million for a minute. But remember, there are huge production costs involved. For example, Matt Damon appeared in a commercial.
Yeah, he doesn't do that for free?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't work for kibble like the dog, the puppy,
right,
in the Budweiser ad. So sometimes these things can run a total of $10 million or more between production cost and paying stars for their appearance. So, you're into big money, and somebody's playing you bet your job here. So hopefully it'll pay off for them, right?
Let's hope, And it's a big gamble.
Yeah, and I don't know. This has gone viral, and it's doing fairly well. So the thing to watch is, if you want to know how they're doing, you need to watch how many hits they're getting on YouTube, right? If they're getting a lot of play and a lot of hits and people are watching it, the money was worth it, right?
Yeah, I just remember after that commercial, my wife was like, "What is Loctite? Is that glue? That's glue?
Is it a fanny pack?
Who even knew
What's
what it
happening?
was?"
Right. So that's a big thing. The biggest thing in advertising like this is what we call retention and recall. Do you remember what the ad is, and do you understand what we do? One of the ads that we had talked about, right, that didn't do that well was the one for that Jeff Bridges appeared in, right?
Yeah. I still. What is that for? They build websites? Is that what it is?
I couldn't even figure it out.
I'm not sure if it's that. If it's a sleep aid, I wasn't really sure what I was watching.
Well, we were talking about McDonald's earlier.
Oh.
Now, is this?
You know what? For your payment today, do you have your cell phone with you?
Do you feel like this is a rebranding? Do you think this is almost a admitting that I'm loving it was a good phrase, so let's go back to I'm loving it?
It may, but what's the other part? If you two are standing in line and the manager says, if you two hug, right, free meals, well, what do you think is going to happen with that?
Well, we're hugging the hell out of each
other.
other.
Well, that's right, and guess what else? I'm going to take a picture of that, and it's going to go viral. So think about the amount of advertising that McDonald's is going to get from these individuals who are, we catch a video clip on our cell phone or iPad, right, and put it up on YouTube.
So once again, it's all about going viral.
Well, it's the length. How long can you, in advertising, one of the big things is how long can I make this last?
Yeah.
Right? And so if all I get is that commercial for 30 seconds.
That's 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds.
Keep it going.
If somebody's watching this stuff over and over again on YouTube, going viral, right, tweeting about it, it's got a longer shelf life.
Right.
Right, and this means a lot.
Well, everyone's hoping that their commercial is the one that lasts, but we're glad for the insight. George Glaros
Great.
from the Minnesota School of Business, thanks for being here.
Great, thanks. It was a pleasure. Thank you both.
All right, more on the fly when we come back.